Hey everybody, happy Sunday to you. Going to be going off on drawing the Hobgoblin today. I'm going to post this on the page real quick. Just waiting for Facebook to catch up. There it goes. Okay. So everybody can check it out. And now I'm going to adjust my lighting here just a little bit because it's a little bit harsh. Then I'm going to get started. And we are going to get this done now. Hey, James. I'm going to start in on this one real quick here because this border should cut in rather fast because it's really heavy on the cape side. I'm going to go in here kind of quick. I got asked if I could draw some of this a little bit faster. And yes, the question is posed, and the answer is yes. If I wasn't talking on these videos, I could knock this out in about 5 minutes, maybe 10, depending on the difficulty of the piece. I mean, some of those bigger cards, of course, not so much. We have to be realistic about it for the detailing and whatnot. But I'm going to draw more like I do for the comics, just to build things up a little bit and express a little more of that speed that I do the pages with, because I don't play around with it quite as much as I do on the pages with you guys here on these cards, because I like hanging out for a little bit and whatnot, and I want to make it worth your while of hanging out and getting to see this happen and not look like it's a timed thing. People get to see those all the time, the time lapses and whatnot, and I've done a few of those, but I wanted to do some of this and show you guys a little bit of the speed technique, because of the fact that I draw a lot faster than I let on, and because all of the work's done in the layout part of it, it makes it very cool for me to be able to just run in here and get this done. And it does make it a lot smoother when I do, because of the fact that I lay everything out, so the hard work is done. So I hear about that all the time, and it's just like, well, you take a half an hour for the card. Well, yes, I do. It's because I want to give you guys the information that I want to give, rather than just kicking it out, because I can burn through it, but that's not really the point. I'm doing this just a little bit faster today, just to show a little bit more of the expediency behind it, because of the fact that it can go down a lot faster than what some people have been interested in seeing. So I was just like, well, then I'll kick this one out really quick and kind of show a little bit more of that speed. Because when I draw pages, I draw way faster than this, because I don't have to talk, so there's a lot less energy consumption on my part. It's just being able to kick it out and get it done and move on to the next. So, but you guys have been asking if I could do that. How long does it take me to do a page if it takes me 30 minutes to do a card? Well, don't be fooled by that, because it doesn't take me 30 minutes to do a card in reality. I do that for you guys. So now, this being Hobgoblin, he has a very interesting ridged brow on his mask that Green Goblin doesn't have. And you got to remember the difference between Green Goblin and HobGoblin is HobGoblin, um, Green Goblin's crazy, but he's a multiple personality, where HobGoblin is a mercenary and a sociopath. So you got to think about him in regard to that, because Green Goblin is crazy, and there's a difference. You know, I mean, he is Norman Osborn's more of an innocent in regard to that, because it's a medical condition by our standards anyway. I mean, yes, he's a wackadoo, but still, and that's a technical term, by the way. But yeah, I mean, he's nuts, but let's be honest about it. You know, he snapped, and that's a psychological condition. But the HobGoblin's more of an assassin, and he does this for hire, which makes him a lot different, because he knows what he's doing. And it actually makes him more of a dangerous character. But anyway, he is definitely on the short list of I don't want to mess with him. Yes, my daughter says. That's funny. Gonna knock this out really quick for you guys. Like I said, I mean, if I didn't say any, you know, if I said like 10 words, I'd already have half of this done. But and not that I'm bragging or anything. It's just like I said, I want to show a little bit more of the speed side of things and give you guys that advantage, which you don't get to see a lot in these cards. So, and the funny thing is, the faster I draw, it looks cleaner to me, because I don't get to fuddle with it as much. So by not getting to mess around, I get to knock it out, and then the line work comes off a little cleaner, because I don't get to mess with the details as much. But it also keeps me from mucking up the line work too much either, because I have to be in and out, you know. And when I draw pages, that's something that is very key for my production, is to get in and out as soon as possible, for that act of expediency, so that I can move on to the next page, especially when it's something that I'm penciling one day and then inking within 48 hours. You know, that's why I'm all over the place with projects and stuff, because whenever I kick one out, if I'm doing it on a high-end deadline, this is the way I do it. I go in and pencil in all the layouts like this one day, and then the next I go behind and pencil everything in hard like this, and then when I ink it, it's ready to rock and roll. And that's where that comes from. But I get that all the time, and you know, it's like, there's no way you can draw professionally and draw 3 pages a day. You know, that's crazy. Well, yeah. You know, I get a lot of flack about that, but the thing is, if you draw this way and you kick it out, it's a little bit different than what most artists come down the line and do. And I know a lot of guys that are pros that are way faster than I am and way better at it. But you know, a lot of people don't know this, but Wolf Potasio is really fast. He comes in and just tears it up. Especially in that modern clean style he's got, because he's got a very thin line style now. And it comes across really well. Got to make sure I get that gun at least rounded It's not going to be perfect, but neither is the weapon because it's coned and not straight, not a actual circular shape. It's squished a little bit. It's thin like the gun, so. And he has this weird little laser pistol that he likes to use. And that's a big difference between Green Goblin and Hobgoblin to keep in retrospect when you're drawing this character. One of them uses a gun, one of them uses pumpkin bombs only. Because the Green Goblin doesn't use a gun. He did at one point, but I haven't seen him use it since. And maybe it's in hindsight now because of the character differentiating himself from, or the writers differentiating him because he doesn't really exist from the Hobgoblin character. I'm not really one of those guys that says, hey man, this character da-da-da-da-da. It's still fiction to me. I have myself grounded that way. So let's see here. We have a thumb right there. Dink. And didn't know this show could afford sound effects, huh? Yeah, I know. Big time, big money. So got that thumb in there. Gonna pop in this next finger. Here, little edge of that knuckle. Back edge of this knuckle. And what we're going to do is I'm going to put it in like that because that's a raised finger right there. I want it to look that way because this would show a little bit differently due to depth perception. Okay. Now, we've got his hand in. There's the edge of his glove. There's his finger right there. Put in that nice little detail right there. Blacken this out. Here we go. Kind of put that rim on there for the laser. Okay. Kind of round that up a little bit. Now, go old school. John Romita. Sal Buscema. These guys would draw these metal guns with just these little triangle squiggles like that. And then they'd come in from underneath and do a block shadow like this. Kind of box and build it up. Then they would go in and go from one side. Shadow. Like that. And then line it out that way. Ding. There we go. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and put in a couple of scratchy, leathery looking marks. And the reason I'm doing this right here is just to show a little definition on this belt for his sack, or the pouch of bombs that he carries. There we go, cool deal. And now I'm going to go draw on these other little fingers. And I'm going to go back to work on that thumb right there. And you can draw his fingers a little wonky because he's had his hands crushed a few times. So you can draw him a little creepy. A little homage to Todd McFarlane there. The little scratchy, knobby knuckles. Let's see here. Mr. Kevin West is on with us today. If you guys watching this later in the replay or over on the channel, my buddy Kevin's hanging out. Thanks for coming on, buddy. Spending your Sunday with me a little bit. Yeah, this cat right here is creepy. He asked me, Kevin asked me to slow down a little bit because I was saying earlier about the speed line technique, you know, just kicking this out and the old habit of just, you know, nailing it down. And he asked me to slow it down a little bit because this is one of his favorites, which I appreciate that because it's one of mine too. HobGoblin is one of my favorite villains. I think he's overused and underdeveloped, and especially since they announced his origin in the comics a while back, and that was a while ago. He's been very limited in the use that people will write him into the books, and I was praying to get to see him on the big screen, literally praying to get to see him on the big screen. I was like, please, God, let me see HobGoblin before I die. Let me see HobGoblin on the big screen in a Spider-Man movie. And we may actually get it. You never know. We might actually get it. Because they're saying his little sidekick from Homecoming is going to be, the Spider-Man sidekick from Homecoming is going to be become HobGoblin, which would be interesting. I don't know. No offense to the kid, but I can't remember the young man's name. Good actor, but he reminds me, profile-wise, he reminds me of Hula Hula from Plastic Man. Yeah, that's the character. They're saying Ned's going to be a potential HobGoblin, which would be fascinating, but I don't know. They're hinting he's going to get brainwashed and become HobGoblin in the next movie, but we'll see. Who knew that we would get not one but two shockers in the same film? You know, if you haven't seen the film, spoiler alert, sorry about that, but the advertisements already spoiled that for us, so, you know, please don't get upset with me and don't hold it against me. But because the spoilers of the commercials already ruined that, where they showed the first one and him getting beat up, and then the second one becoming the young thug at the bus fight scene. So no spoilers, but yeah, the shocker is short-lived in that film, and his second identity steps in real quick. So if I spoiled that for you, I apologize because that wasn't my intent. But I can see people now, I'm not watching your show anymore, man. You ruined Spider-Man Homecoming from me. So if I did, I apologize because that wasn't my intention. And I hate spoilers. I should have thought that out a little more before I went and commented all over the place about it, because now it's, you know, forever on the internet. You ruined Spider-Man Homecoming. But if you're a hardcore Spider-Man fan, you're probably already seeing it anyway on your new 4K DVD or Blu-ray, depending on what you have. But then again, maybe not, you know? Maybe I did. Let's see here. I have the chest in, I have the belt in, have the sequins in on the uniform. There we go. Okay. Gotta do the shadowing on the nugget here. Shadowing on the nugget. That's a technical term as well. So there we go. I'm going to put the shadow for this tip right here over here where it offsets a little bit. And the reason for that is because the light's coming down like that, and it's shining underneath that just a little bit and shifting it over to the side. So we've got that going on. And just to appease some of the people that have been asking, yes, I am inking the cards up. I am coloring them as we speak. I colored a few of them today, and we'll be doing a few more after the program here shortly to finish those up and start posting again heavily. And I'm gonna put a little bit of a shadow mark down here because I don't like the way that's just open. Shadow into that hand a little. Okay, we'll bubble that up. Now the reason for that is because I'm going to go for, think, that underlighting right there. Okay, cool. There we go. All right, cool deal. Hope you guys dig it. That is you know, I totally agree, Kevin, but some people, you never know. I don't want to cut down on anybody for not seeing the film yet. Everybody has their reasons as to why they do or don't see stuff. That's HobGoblin Forest this week, rounding out the He-Man and stuff on the last week's bit. I had the symbol yesterday. Just wanted to show you guys I am starting to color some of this stuff for the He-Man Skeletor things. I am almost finished with Galactus. There's so much detail in this little card. These are 3x5 cards, and that is just the detail on that is crazy. I kind of jinxed myself with that one a little bit. There's the symbol. He's ready to go. I got to let him set, and I'm not going to show any more than that because I don't want to spoil all the surprises. But I will be posting Skeletor this week as soon as it's done. Also got some cool stuff for you. A massive Voltron piece. Also have Godzilla and King Kong on that piece, that 11x17 that I'm working on. I got the layout done for it, and it's ready to go. I am not going to show that till I'm ready to just pop it on here and do it. But for today, this is what we got. I appreciate you guys hanging out. I'm going to get back to work on this other stuff, and I will see you tomorrow. Take care.